Hi, I'm Stephen.
And I'm Lauren, and welcome to CSV Live. It's a show all about CSV Manchester and a spotlight of some of the fantastic projects we've worked on, partners we've worked with and successes we've achieved.
We're going to be looking at 4 key areas today. That's community outreach, youth engagement, employability and a look to the future. We're going to be meeting some colourful characters from within CSV and finding out what's been gained from working with some of our partners and organisations.
It's definitely a great place to be, which you're sure to find out. But before we meet our first guest, let's cross to our reporter Aisha with a rundown of all the latest CSV news.
Hello, I'm Aisha with your CSV News, and firstly a recognition for CSV's fantastic achievement as the overall winner for the 2010 Charity Awards. The prestigious award highlights the practical and effective role volunteers can play in delivering public services, some of which you'll be finding more about on a local level in today's show. Next, exciting news. CSV welcomes Chief Executive Lucy de Groot. Lucy joined CSV in February, taking over from Dame Elizabeth Hudless, who held the post previously for 47 years. Lucy brings with her a wealth of experience as an innovative and experienced leader and shares CSV's commitment and passion to improving the lives of citizens. Moving on to local news now and over to Salford, where the newly opened CSV Hub in Walkden is already achieving great success. Our new cafe hosted its first ever work club at the beginning of this month, and local resident Diane Fagan managed to get herself a job within 20 minutes of attending. Diane will start work as a dance teacher very soon. Let's hope it's the first of many success stories. And finally, CSV has been delivering the Future Jobs Fund, which we'll be telling you more about shortly. There are already some impressive statistics from those leaving FJF up to February. Almost 40% went straight into employment, and that figure is rising weekly. Our new coffee hub was successful in creating 7 new positions, and those due to leave the scheme in the near future are optimistic about the future and the new skills that they have gained. That's all from me. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Aisha. Well, first up is community outreach. We've been working with a lot of colourful people from within CSV. We've been meeting some amazing people from all different walks of life and making a real difference to lives as a result.
We're about to meet some of these amazing people now, but before we do, let's take a short clip, look at a short clip demonstrating the work CSV's done to bring young and old together and make not only a difference to lives and communities, but to achieve friendship, teamwork and learning outcomes.
On a Friday, I volunteer at a sheltered housing scheme called McLaren Court. I work with Jack and Daisy, and together we do an intergenerational computer course with older people. What I've enjoyed from it has been actually building relationships with the older people and actually kind of tailoring their needs with what we want to give them to learn. You've got really unique personalities which make such a different blend of people. It's nice to actually be able to engage with these people and them engaging back and actually helping them and seeing how happy they are when they can, for example, double click on a mouse or open a Word document. Simple things like that which we take for granted, which they are getting a lot of joy from.
They didn't seem any distance in age really. We just seemed to be the same. That's all I can say really. I didn't think about him being a young lad and he didn't think of me being an old woman. We just kind of clicked with all of you really.
If I would have said to you a month ago there's going to be a group of young people coming in to teach you computers, what would you have thought?
Not on you, Nelly.
We clean up and have nice flowers outside your house in hanging baskets and flower beds, and it makes the street more colourful and attractive.
It's nice and clean. People are starting to come into the street.
all the violence is starting to stop.
It makes me feel part of a community. I've got loads more friends from all ages, from all backgrounds, and I feel it's been a really worthwhile few months since we started.
I think I was born in the wrong generation, really, because I have a lot of views of the older people have, because I don't accept the way kids are being brought up nowadays. With the older people, they've got the priorities set right. They basically would bring up a kid and tell them what they could do and what they couldn't do, and those kids would respect those elders and do what they was told. Whereas younger people now are having kids and they haven't got no priorities at all, really. They've dragged them up, they don't bring them up.
In my opinion, the difference between young and old people has always been the difference between young and old people. And what I would like to see is that, you know, we come together. I like talking to young people. I don't know how I come across to young people, probably like a grumpy old so-and-so. But, you know, from any age really, because I can talk to older people and still gain experience from somebody that's older than me. So unless we all join in, you know, we might as well just give up, basically.
And joining us now, we have Sandra Jackson from CSV, Patrick Hampling from Manchester City Council, and Anna Richmond from RSVP. Sandra, we'll start with you. We've just seen the video, it gives us some insight into what you do. But can you tell us more about the intergenerational work that you and others from CSV have been involved with, and what are the successes that you've had?
One of the things that we wanted to do was to make the projects quite intense, where we're actually working, going out in the community and actually developing projects in the community rather than people accessing us at CSV, which took a little bit of effort and a little bit of organisation, but we found that by delivering projects within people's local community, the engagement was increased, and people felt a lot more comfortable engaging in the projects. I mean, there's a summary of all the projects in the report that's on your chair, so I won't go into too much depth about that, but what I will say is that we met some absolutely fantastic people doing these projects. We managed to engage people who never even would have thought, either from a creative point of view, actually doing radio and audio and doing filming, to people who've never even looked at a computer screen before, to communities like Cranswick, who are a fantastically motivated group of people, and we wanted to celebrate that because we thought, well, that works well, and why does that work well? So we did a lot of work with them as well, and we produced a promotional video for them, which they're taking to other communities that want to set up residence groups. So there's the legacy aspect of it is far wider than a person knowing how to use a computer and buying their own laptop, etc. It's actually going beyond the project, where hopefully, Cranswick being an example, other residence groups will be motivated by what they see on the video and actually want to get involved. So it works on many levels, really, and it's been an absolute privilege to work with these people and the volunteers who we've managed to recruit to do the projects, and the school children that we've got to do the projects. It's been a really, really valuable experience and very reflective of, you know, when we can do something in the community, you know, we do it really well, and hopefully everybody who's had the experience with us has been motivated to either get involved in a community activity or to come back and volunteer with us.
Yeah, that's great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Patrick, as we saw in the BT there, it's majorly beneficial that we're bringing generations together like this. Are you able to tell me how projects like this came about, why they exist, and why you chose CSV to be a help to deliver these things?
There's probably a number of reasons why an intergenerational project can come about. Often in society, and you look at the mainstream media, young people are evil and older people are a problem. And it was really fantastic in the past, and it's really bad now. And of course, that's often a stereotype that's pushed in the media. And you have real judgments made about groups of younger and older people. So intergenerational work can really challenge those perceptions within society and look at older and younger people as assets within their community. And of course there's benefits for your participants. Sandra touched on that before. Your confidence skills, your ability to work together, negotiate, to actually volunteer in a community, to achieve things, to do things that are fun, to challenge that wider stigma within communities. It can be multifaceted, and I think that's when you're doing this sort of work, you want an organisation like CSV, and I really do mean this, that we chose them to be part of it because we knew they'd deliver, and that's important. There's a lot of pressure from government, people. There was a small number of us got this funding, and we wanted to make sure it was set out to organisations that could deliver, or we could learn with. And CSV could do that. I like the creative way they approach things. I could always get in touch with them. And I also felt you could just step back and let things happen without being too worried, waking up in the middle of the night going, oh, something bad's happening. So I think it's that, and it's again that creativity and that way of working that brings out the best of younger and older people and helps them work together, overcome issues as facilitators. And that is actually hard to find, and that's what I think CSV offers such a program of work.
Thank you.
It's quite a compliment.
Thank you.
Anna, firstly, welcome to CSV. You only joined us in January, but you're the perfect person to explain how projects like this will continue through retired and senior volunteer projects, or RSVP as it's known. So can you tell us more about that?
Sure, thank you. So RSVP is Community Service Volunteers Retired and Senior Volunteer Programme, and it encourages people over 50 to volunteer in their local community. We're really excited. We just achieved funding from the lottery and also funding in kind from Manchester City Council Valuing Older People Partnership, so we can continue our partnership together with Patrick, which is wonderful. And we're going to set up RSVP in Manchester because we haven't operated here before. So the sorts of things that our volunteers do really benefit older people but also others in the community. So our older volunteers might set up and run a friendship group such as art, walking, music. They might befriend isolated older people or housebound older people, mentor young people, read with children in schools, or possibly run a brunch drop-in centre for people in need. So all sorts of really exciting possibilities.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, yeah, I wish you the best of luck to RSVP and to your plans for the future, and I hope you have a great continuing relations with Manchester City Council.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, next up we've got a project that's very much in the planning stages, but it has just as big aspirations as the success stories we've heard so far, and it's called Healthy Media. Before we meet our guests, here's Salford University's Gareth Palmer with an overview.
Healthy Media is a project that investigates people's understanding of their own health. So instead of taking the authorities' definitions of what health is, like the 5-a-day thing for example, we ask people how they feel healthy, what it is that makes them feel healthy.
I think I'm quite healthy because I try to eat lots of fruit and I drink water.
Okay, I'm healthy because I try to eat well, I don't drink too much, and I try to get to the gym at least once a week.
Healthy media is important because we need to understand health from the perspective of the individual rather than the statistics and the machinations of the authorities. We need to know what health is from people's perspective rather than other people's perspective.
I am healthy because I eat 5 fruit and veg a day.
I am healthy because I ride a bike to college.
I'm healthy because I eat an apple a day.
I hope the project will develop a greater understanding that health is something that comes out of people, isn't something that should be imposed upon them. I hope there's also an understanding that people can decide what health is for themselves to an extent, and we need to share understandings of health rather than deal with just authoritarian messages.
We're healthy because we're happy.
And Gareth joins us in the studio now. That seems like a very interesting project. I'd like to see more on that soon. I know you've worked with CSV in the past. Can you tell me about some of the past projects you've been involved with?
Okay, well, as I say, we worked on CV on a very big project last year called New Morning Old Streets. And the idea of this project was to recreate a film that was made in 1959 called Morning in the Streets. And that was made by the BBC, and it was about the working class people that lived in Salford, Manchester and Liverpool. Mm-hmm. And the idea was that instead of having BBC people make the film, we thought the people of Salford and Manchester could make the film this time. So we talked to lots of groups, including, of course, CSV. And we had workshops and poetry and sort of writing workshops so people could interrogate their own memories of Salford and put them on screen. So we assembled this over about 4 or 5 month period and made something which I think is really quite affecting and touching. It also demonstrates how proud people are of their city.
Great.
And Andrew, you'll be working on developing this project with Gareth. It's not the first time that you've worked on a community-focused CSV project, though, is it?
No, I started working with CSV as a volunteer about December 2009, and I was involved in an energy project. And we went into communities and showed them how energy works, how the boilers work, things like that. And we did a talk at Age Concern, and we went on the radio and did a little thing in a community home. And then more recently, you heard my voice on a computer teaching program with older people, and it made some really great connections there. It was really nice meeting these people who I probably would never have met ever before. So it really was a very nice thing to be involved in something like that. So really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Andy. Okay, another key area of CSV's agenda is youth engagement. As an organisation, we've been working with youth throughout Greater Manchester. We have some guests from a local school, St Cuthbert's, but before we meet them, let's see a little of one of the videos that we produced with them on the subject of bullying.
It started with a name, and then about the way I look. It's an unwanted thing, but it's something that I can change. Are these my friends? Someone tell me who I can trust. I just want it to end, but I know I shouldn't make a fuss. Been through this all my life, been taking all these strides. Might make me use a knife one day. Been through this all my life, been taking all these strides. Might make me use a knife one day. For everyone out there who gets bullied, believe in yourself and you'll break free. Forget about all the things they did to you. Just believe. Just believe. Just believe.
And joining us now in the studio is Angela Williams, assistant head, and a couple of stars from the video, Emily and Alison. I worked on this project myself, and I'm very proud of what we achieved in the studio, but I'd like to know what your point of view is on the successes of our partnership.
Well, first of all, the project itself took place over the summer holiday, and although when the students leave at the end of July quite excited about 6 weeks, a lot of them tell us that by week 3 they're a little bit fed up and wondering what to do with their time. So 2 weeks over the summer holiday was a great opportunity for them to engage in the project. Not only, from what you've seen, have they developed skills to show in front of camera, so we had lots of vocal coaching, which we can't offer in school, and dance lessons as well for Emily. The children also managed to develop lots of skills in the technical areas, such as film editing, the music production, video editing, etc. And the skills that they've developed there, we don't have the facilities in school to offer. On top of that, really, the group, because there were 12 students within the group, we are a business and enterprise college, and we're always looking for how we can develop the skills in enterprise. And the project itself was just an entrepreneurial project. The girls will tell you how much they've developed, not just in confidence, but in their creativity and this can-do attitude, and the ambitions that they have now for the future have really been developed. It's heightened their profile in school, and it's, if you like, advertised the fact that we'll run this again this summer. Within school, it was used as a resource for Anti-Bullying Week, not just in assemblies, which the girls were a little bit embarrassed about to start with in front of their own peers, but it's also been used on the school television channel, the Life channel, which we do share with other local schools. So it's been used as a resource for primary schools, and the girls, I think, will tell you a little bit about some other Manchester schools who've benefited as well.
Okay, thank you. So you're little celebrities now in school, eh? Emily, what do you think have been the most positive outcomes of working on this project?
Obviously we learnt new media skills, and we learnt how to do different things that we never do in our school, because we don't have the facilities. But like obviously we like confidence and teamwork and stuff like that. And we've got like how there's always ups and downs in a group, but like everyone was there to like sort it all out and everything went well. So
That's good. Well, the finished product was good. I love it. Alison, can you tell me what you learned from taking part in this project?
We all gained confidence, as Emily said, and we all had fun at the end of the day, but we learned how to more teamwork and how to cooperate more because, as Emily said, we don't really get voice coaching and video editing at our school, so it's a good opportunity as well, so we all enjoyed it.
Yeah, good fun then.
Yeah.
Would you do it again, do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Thank you.
Well, thanks to all of you, and a little taster of what CSV's been doing within schools there. Well, yeah, as you've just seen, using media is a really effective way of engaging young people, encouraging creativity and teamwork. But before we meet our next guests, even, let's check out a little film from some budding filmmakers from our summer programme, Media Box.
right, Lauren's just tried telling me that she's seen Afsana. Who's Afsana? That girl I was telling you about before outside. What an idiot. She's stupid. She made it up in the lift and she believes me. She's really stupid. Really.
Are you okay? Do you want me to get you some water?
Promise me you won't go. Don't go. Don't leave me, Gemma. Promise me you won't leave me.
What?
I've seen her. I've seen Afsana.
Not this again.
That was a little terrifying.
Quite effective, really.
Yeah, that was just a short film that was produced in our studio. So yeah. And joining us now we have Pete Jackson from Manchester Connections. Pete, through the Connections project, Positive Activities for Young People, or PAYP as it's known, you've worked closely with CSV. Can you tell us about the project and how CSV fitted into that and where you've gone since then?
Yes, certainly. The PAYP project, the Key Worker project from PAYP, was aimed at engaging those children or young people who were kind of falling away from mainstream, if you like. So those who perhaps weren't attending school regularly, who were involved in or in danger of becoming involved in criminal activity or antisocial behaviour. So we have a team of key workers who would work with these young people from across the city of Manchester. And we would commission various projects, including CSV Media, who turned out to be one of our most productive and useful sources, in as much as they were able to engage these often very challenging young people in a variety of activities centred around media. There was often the criticism, like, young people are naughty, so therefore they get to go and make videos, DVDs and all the rest of it. Couldn't be further from the truth. They're under a very strict regime to behave themselves and very stringent kind of rules and regulations for participating, whilst at the same time having great fun. But at the end of it, not only did these young people produce either a CD, DVD, or some form of media, they learnt skills that would help them in the long term to find employment, communication, teamwork, maths, English. For example, they might produce a CD, which they would be great. They do some rapping usually, but then they'd be asked questions like, in order to make a profit, how many CDs would we have to produce? How much would they cost, and how much to make a profit would we have to sell them for? So there are things like that. So the young people were being taught mathematical skills and English skills. So they were being educated in a more formal sense, as well as doing the fun stuff of creating media.
That's great. Thank you very much. And
we're just going to bring through Ryan.
Yeah. Guest here.
Hi, Ryan.
Right.
Tell us about your experiences of working with CSV as a volunteer.
In the studio, it's exciting because you get to work with like different artists, like singers and rappers, and you get to record them, and you achieve a song, and then you're proud of it. So hopefully it helps the community.
Do you think it helps for you to sort of get something out of it at the end, like something that's actually there? You can, with your music, for example, you can listen to that and you've got some proof there that you've actually put all this work in.
I think I'll be proud of it if I listen back to it, and hopefully it goes somewhere.
Cool, thank you. Well,
That's the plan.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all our guests so far for telling us more about their experiences at CSV and youth engagement. We're only able to scratch the surface of some of these fantastic projects, but hopefully it's given you a better idea of the work that happens with us at CSV. And there will be an opportunity to ask any questions at the end to our roving camera, so don't be shy.
And on to employability now, and CSV have been working very hard to get significant numbers of long-term unemployed back into work. One of the ways in which they've done this is through the Future Jobs Fund. It's an initiative that myself and the lovely Lauren here have also been involved with. But before we get down to what FJF is, let's just have a quick look at some of our colleagues in action.
So we understand that in this day and age where there's not always enough jobs to go around, all we can do sometimes is give people the confidence back and improve their chances, improve their strike rates, and give them the toolkits for when that opportunity, that dream job does come around and they want to pull out all the stops.
CSV to me means an opportunity for people who might not usually have that kind of opportunity.
It's rare that you'll find a job that you really do like. It's even harder to find a job that you'll like that much with people that you like that much. And for some reason, that's just all come together here.
With CSV, you get 1,000 people coming in a year. And in terms of the government's contracts, that's just a matter of statistics. But as far as we're concerned, that's 1,000 individuals with their hopes, fears, dreams, desires.
It's like a little haven. I feel like I can really be myself here and no one will judge me. I can get on with the work that I want to do.
A lot of opportunities that a normal regular guy would have never had.
Yeah, I'm going to pursue my music after this personally. That's going to be my goal now. And it's this place that's inspired me to do it, really.
The motto for CSV is make a difference. And once the people come here, they realise it's them that makes the difference.
And joining us now to tell us a little more about FJF are FJF project worker Sean Waits, Vicky Pomfret, currently on FJF, and Johnny Weinberg from Manchester City Council. Sean, tell us about the CSV employability team and what you're doing at the moment and some of the programmes you're involved in.
Yeah, well, there's three main contracts I've been working on recently. Future Jobs Fund, which is predominantly designed for 18 to 24-year-olds. And the idea being it's to provide a subsidised job for 6 months for young people to gain experience in a particular area and give them recent reference, something on the CV, and hopefully move them on. We've delivered about 150 jobs in total through both our Manchester offices. We've had people working both internally with us in the media centre and the employability unit, but also with a wide range of charities and community organisations all over Manchester. We've also been working on Flexible New Deal, which is a scheme for longer term unemployed people, normally 12 months plus. It's a mandatory scheme, part of the job centre. Customers come in for one-to-one meetings with their advisors for supported job search, doing job search on their own, and we run group classes around sort of confidence building, interview techniques, really trying to move long-term unemployed people closer to the labour market. And thirdly, it's the voluntary opportunities project that we've been working on, which is for people between 6 and 12 months unemployed. It's a voluntary scheme for those who want to get in touch with voluntary organisations and do some volunteering, but are perhaps not sure how to go about it. So again, we've developed a large network of charities all over Manchester and Lancashire to provide volunteering opportunities for people who wish to do so.
Great.
And you've brought along Vic today, you're right. You're currently on FJF, but you're working on a different aspect to myself and Stephen, who are receiving training in media. You're a law graduate and you struggled to find work after graduating. How has FJF helped you?
Because I didn't want to go on to do my LPC, I thought I've got more than enough qualifications to go and make a career for myself. But obviously I was looking for jobs and everyone was like at least 9 months experience. And as much as I had the knowledge, I didn't have the experience behind me. So that's when I went for an interview with Sean, and it was for the same job as you guys, media, but I didn't have much of a media background. So Sean said maybe I'll fit more working on the employability side of things. So I work in the office now with Sean, and I'm on Future Jobs Fund, but it doesn't feel like it because I fit in very well. So they've helped me build my confidence going for these kind of interviews, at law firms, because obviously it can be quite daunting and a little scary. So built up my confidence and learnt a lot of new skills because I've never worked in an office environment before. So now even the simple things like photocopying, faxing, answering the telephone, I've learnt all skills like that. So I'm very glad that I did that.
I think everyone in FJF sort of shares that same thought, that it sort of builds your confidence and you get a lot of skills from it. So it's good. And Johnny, what role does the third sector play in delivering welfare to work programmes, and how valuable is it in supporting people back into employment?
I think it's got immense value, and it's because the third sector is, like you said, non-judgmental. It has that approach that's very informal, that works for people, rather than to be jumping straight into a work environment that can be quite challenging. And there's three aspects that go with that: the opportunity for experience, like Vic said, the skills that you gain, and the support. And the experience is invaluable. It's something that everybody wants on their CV. What have you done? And just that very simple opportunity for somebody to do something that, if you try to get a job, is very difficult. So you can't jump straight in to volunteer. People would be crazy not to take it up because obviously you're getting somebody for free. But the byproduct's great as well. People actually get that experience. The skills can be so varied, and the voluntary sector is brilliant at that different things. So as you've seen before, IT skills. Or media skills. I mean, the range can be quite something, and that's incredibly important to people. But I think the other aspect that's unique is the support. Unlike in a work environment where it's all management and line management and so on, the sort of support you get in third sector organisations is so based on that person, what they need, and particularly with some people who have more difficult situations, so people with mental health needs or ex-offenders, and young people in general, to help them and support them through their issues, and then you can actually see them grow and be able to take up that work opportunity. So I think it's a unique sector that just gives everybody that opportunity, and I think that's so important.
Thanks, Johnny. I hope we're managing to give you all a good insight into the many different facets of CSV. There are exciting things ahead, and there's many opportunities for us to make a real difference within communities. One of our main focuses at the moment is with our developments in Salford, more precisely the cafe in Walkden. And now, to get you excited, we're going to see an animation of how it could look.
Great. I really like the look of that place. Thankfully, joining us now, we've got a number of key guests who can tell us more. We have John Bowler from CSV. You okay, John?
Yep.
Vinnie Nash, Neighbourhood Manager for Walkden and Little Holton.
Hi there.
Ashley McLaughlin, currently on the FJF scheme. And Noel Goulding from Mobile Training. John, you're overseeing the management and development of the hub and development of CSV activities in Salford. Has it been exciting for you?
It's been fantastic. I mean, I started in October last year and started building the cafe in November. And literally it was a bookmakers. We didn't have a clue what we was doing. We had no experience of building the cafe, so we just basically, as a team, put it all together. I'm not from the region, so it's my new experience in Salford. And firstly, the people and the partners in Salford have been amazing with what we've tried to do in the coffee hub. So literally from day one, we started knocking the place down, turning it into what we thought would be a nice, welcoming cafe. It's been trading since the new year now, and current stats show week on week it's getting busier. We're getting more surplus, which will go directly back into the project. We engage in more community groups within, so we're doing the work clubs we just spoke about earlier. The healthy living team, we're doing cooking lessons as of next week in the coffee hub. So yeah, it's a really engaging centre. The future, just saw the animation there, next door to the cafe is potential space. And we currently have media hubs in Manchester, Preston. We could replicate that next door to the coffee hub. And also upstairs to the, as you can see on the screen, obviously the pictures of the coffee hub there. So we wanted to build a place what was, you know, not a greasy spoon, not a typical community cafe. We wanted to build a nice, relaxing centre. So we've got free internet access, you can see, and we've got a relationship with a job centre where people can come over, do a free job search, free printing facilities, use our phone to phone employers, and our staff can obviously assist them in that process. We're going back to the future. Upstairs of the building as well, we've linked up with Stageworks, who are in the audience today, Michael and Casey, and they've got a really good building where we can start doing youth engagement in dance and theatre and music production, along with our potential new building next door. But also one vision we've got for Salford is, obviously media is our key aim within CSV, but we can do other activities within the new centre. So we want to really look at multi-agency sharing, so we can share different partners in the building to do completely new and exciting work.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you, John.
Beautiful. So if you need a job, get down to the camp.
And today's special is tuna with mayonnaise jacket potato.
Beautiful. With a side order of application form.
Yes.
Great. Vinny, you're perfectly placed to give us an opinion on whether this is needed by local people and how you think it could work. Also, what partners would be ideally suited to be working along with CSV in the new development?
Certainly am, yeah. When John came along and we had the initial conversation, I was bowled over by his enthusiasm for the project. I thought he was extremely optimistic for 6 to 8 weeks to open a cafe from scratch, and lo and behold, he did it. We were very happy to provide support from the public sector side of things. Salford City Council is always keen to help partners develop in what was a derelict shop on a high street, effectively. Looking towards the future, undoubtedly we want to work further with John and his team in terms of developing that particular venue, to look at skills and work, perhaps commissioning, do some innovative work. I'm very aware that Media City at Salford is coming on stream within the next 2 years. We want to give the young people of Walkden and Little Hulton the opportunity to have that kind of training and that background to apply for some of those positions. So it's a very exciting time for us. We're just in the process of exploring further developments in terms of that relationship, but absolutely bowled over by John's enthusiasm, and did think a bit optimistic, but he came up with the goods and made it happen. We were happy to provide a small amount of resources to make that work, but essentially CSV are quite a go-getting organisation in terms of making things happen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ashley, you've been employed on the Future Jobs Fund at the cafe. So from your point of view, what's the reaction been like from people using the facilities, and how has the FJF scheme helped you?
Well, firstly, before I got employed on the Future Jobs scheme, I was unemployed for 9 months and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But once I got employed and started working for the coffee hub, I actually got a keen interest in hospitality and catering. So it's helped me know what I want to do in the future and give me something to look at. And the community, we've had lots of good feedback from them. They say it's affordable food and quality, and that's what they want.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you, Ashley.
And Noel there, waiting patiently down on the end. Sorry to keep you waiting. What are your thoughts on your development, on the developments in Salford, and how would these fit in with the work that you're currently doing in the area?
Well, first of all, I think CSV, a fantastic organisation, been going a long period of time. Primarily my work in Salford is to work with young people, 14 to 19 year olds, so a lot of my work is with the Connection Service in Salford, who are very, very, very good at what we do. This only strengthens the work that Connections can do with young people. Within Little Hulton and Walkden, there's a fantastic community spirit, and it's about harnessing that spirit. It's about getting a lot of the very inspirational work that I've seen before to tie into what we do. I had a look around some of the ideas with John and his team earlier on today. Very, very, very exciting. It's about the community then. For me, it's always about the community, about the young people and middle-aged people and older people all joining together. And it's about opportunities for young people. So if I can be involved in an area with my team, and I'm certainly I'm speaking on behalf of Connections, that they would want to be involved in things like this, which is all for the good of the community.
Beautiful.
So well done, John and his team.
Yeah, that all sounds great. And John, I just want to come back to you for any sort of final thoughts on the future.
No, it's just excitement really. Obviously I took the sort of team around the coffee up this morning, and there's potential space next door, as you saw on the screen, plus Michael's dance studio upstairs. The feedback is just great. You know, we could literally, if we had the money, we could open it tomorrow. And there's so much potential there, and everyone shares the same passion and enthusiasm as myself really.
That's great, thank you. So, as you can see, there's some truly wonderful things already happening here at CSV, and with even more to come. Sadly, this brings us almost to the end of our show today.
But yeah, thanks to all our guests for joining us today, and of course our lovely audience. There is some info that you can take away with you today, but if you do have any questions or any comments that you feel you'd like to put to us, then you'll be able to do that to our roaming camera, which will be coming around very shortly. And also, as I'm sure you may have seen, there's some wonderful and lovely refreshments over there as provided by the Walkden Cafe. Thank you very much. But yeah, we will be giving the last word to the people that have benefited from CSV. So see you soon.
Thanks, see you later.
I think organisations like CSV are important because they give young people a chance to do something positive and be seen doing something positive.
If this wasn't here, I would have nowhere to go. I live for Wednesday afternoon.
If CSV wasn't here, I think like the community would suffer and the kids would suffer. The kids would probably end up on the street, causing trouble, and like some of them would actually, I reckon, would develop into like proper criminals and end up in prison.
If you know you can help someone but you don't help them, it's like what's the point of having the gift to help someone?
By investing in CSV, that means you're investing in the community. You're helping the community to help itself. So who benefits? Everybody benefits.
With CSV,
I made a difference.